the next squad or hero that we're going to be looking at is Blade Gruts. Love these guys. It's a wonderful squad. Great squad to get started with.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
The Blade Gruts were the first squad that was hinted in a future release through Grimnack's powers, even though we didn't have any when he was launched, we didn't have any reference to Orc Warriors, so we didn't know exactly what they were talking about until the Blade Gruts came out. So they were the first pre-hinted squad that we got in Heroscape. I'm pretty sure.
See, that's
but yes,
one
feel
thing
free to
I
correct me.
really hope.
Yes.
I look forward to that. I know there's no link there's no teases of that currently through Age of Annihilation, but I really hope that at some point we get to experience that for anyone that wasn't there from the beginning, like myself.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, or at least for them, I mean, I was young. Most of us were young, so like I want to be able to experience it. Like, hey, we're talking about a cool power, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute. What does that mean? Who's that character?
Oh,
like,
sure
what is this race?
Year. I'm sure we're gonna get that
I hope.
Year. Yeah,
I hope.
I'm
I want to
sure.
experience that.
Yeah.
Right. That would be fun. I think, yeah, what Joe was saying, to kind of add to that, I think it would be a nice time for the newer players that weren't there during the 2004, 2010 era when the new releases were getting hinted. Because they did that with the D&D stuff, right? We got those are the elementals, and then the elementals hinted at Kurok. Kurok didn't come out until the second wave. So we had to wait like 3 months to figure out what the heck did they talk. What unique hero is supposed to make these elementals better? Like, we didn't know exactly what they were referring to. And then they launched Kurok, and it's like, oh my gosh, they weren't kidding. This is actually a solid combo. And so they did that with the D&D set. They did that with the OG set. So if Renegade wants to follow a tradition, drop a random power that we don't get to access till next wave, and then we're good to go. But hey, it'd be cool for speculations. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go down memory lane here for these guys. So we got Blade Gruts. And of course, their general is Utgar, and they are an orc common squad. And that's a wonderful thing. Warriors, wild, medium 4. They have 1 life, can move 6 spaces, which is not too shabby. Range 1 space, attack 2, defense 2, at 40 points. So you're talking about 10 points per miniature. That isn't too bad.
That's dirt cheap.
Yeah, and you got Orc Champion bonding before taking a turn with Blade Gruts. You may first take a turn with any Orc Champion you control, aka Mr. Chompy. Disengage. Blade Gruts are never attacked when leaving an engagement. They just, the stats alone, I mean, not only, I mean, of course, I'd say when it comes to like, not the point cost, but the financial cost for these, I think they are a little pricey. They are probably a little pricey to get, but well worth getting them. Like Justin's saying, he has 4 squads of them, and that's a good place to be. I mean, when it comes to like the tournament realm, if you're playing these in tournament events, a squad of 3 is just fine, because we go with the ratio of, if it's a squad of 4, get 3 armies, or 3 squads, and then if it's a squad of 3, get 4 of them. That's the usual balance. So yeah, that's a good one. But just so, I mean, basically coming right out of the initiative roll, you got first initiative, you have the ability, as long as you have Orc Champion bonding, to move 5 miniatures right off the bat. And if it is Grimneck, I mean, you're mowing down other like miniatures from the other side, basically. And then you have these guys following along as well.
Yeah, they're pretty good for their cost. I mean, just having something with 6 move alone and disengage is just plus probably the best form of bonding with a direct enhancement for being next to that. Yeah, they're they're almost too good. I like aesthetically these guys because the first wave they could have done something really simple, but they all have such unique sculpts, different posing. One has like the skull shield and it's like all scrapped together. I love these, just how you can look at each Blade Grut. They're different how they look and appear.
Yeah, the one with the skull shield has been one of my favorites for a long time. And then the double bladed, the one with the dual blading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are some really good solid designs.
Yeah, there, and I see Justin and Lex talking in the chat. Like Lex is saying, give Gruts Tommy guns, please. Renegade, are you listening? Gruts with guns? Yeah, heck yeah. Give them something like that. That would be
just completely fun. Break their cult, like just the worst culture shock that they could ever imagine.
Make like a Grut like.
They just learned how to use iron, and then you just hand them a gun. All right, we need you to upgrade here, and you're just a
Soulborg type Grut. That would be really fun.
What I want. Future Grut, big Ankylosaurus, like armored like a tank with a big cannon on its back and some Gruts on the back,
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Love it.
I was gonna say, give me Mara Warriors, but Gruts.
Yeah. I think orcs need some love. I think they need more love. I really do, because
they definitely shifted away from orcs. They shift away from the Gruts after the heavies.
Right.
I think once they dropped the heavies, that was the last update we ever really got for that army. So I think, because that's the thing, it's like you can read in Craig's chats and stuff, he mentions the Gruts a lot, so it's like I think they had plans for them.
Sure.
It just never came to that point that we would have been able to see it.
I feel like at some point we should be able to see that notebook.
Oh right, their ideas.
Yeah.
The list of things we were supposed to get.
We get Craig on the show, maybe he can give us some. Probably not, but maybe he can.
No, he. I'm sure.
He's very busy.
I'm sure
he's a lot. No, I'm not saying busy. If we did get him on the show and talk to him or have some kind of interview, like I'm pretty sure he's locked, sealed,
NDA.
Yeah. Well, not even that. Like I'm just saying, like you probably can't crack that vault. Like there's no way.
Oh no.
He's not gonna let us know. He knows what we would do with it. With that knowledge, that power.
Immediately, all five of us launch a separate YouTube video to explain what just
breaking.
And then you got to do it the pant. You got to do it the thumbnail. Craig Van Ness said what? Like yeah. Just
breaking news.
Get everyone.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop you from using that thumbnail for a very boring statement. So
honestly, yeah, no.
I mean, they do anything with that thumbnail. So
if you ever need me to do, thumbnail work, let me know. I'll just whip out like, just whip it out. It's so easy. I could just on the fly. I don't know.
Perfect.
Even if you're not in the video, you're just.
I'm just in there. Yeah, it's just.
Do you provide coaching for the facial poses so we can get all 6 of them right, and we can mix and match them like big YouTubers do, where they just kind of put in different shirts in their same facial pose?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to get back on this. Refocus.
So how about that character bio?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a sec. Let's just go through the bonding combinations and synergies real quick. Of course, the synergy is with
anything with an
Grimneck,
AK at the
Tornek.
end of it.
Yeah, Narek, Regulation, Swagwire, Ornek.
Mine is Brunek.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Lava guy. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So. Yeah, I mean, and so that's your selection. There's not really even much bonding for the custom side. You got Horgneck, but I looked at Horgnek's stats. I mean, not really the most exciting, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
he's all right.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure it's fun, but nothing really stood out to me when it comes to bonding with these guys. Just another fun way of playing, I guess. Yeah, Justin's saying we need some orc cavalry. Yeah, we like I said,
pterodactyls.
It was a good start for orcs. But I mean, you can see what they can synergize with, and there's still good armies that could be made. I mean, heck, we got Mr. Chompy at ScapeCon, like every year at ScapeCon, just totally wiping the floor with his orc army. So it's not like you can't use them. They are really good. If you're getting started with Heroscape, I mean, they're a very simple army to use and synergize with. I mean, Grimneck doesn't cost financially much of anything. I mean, some of these others do, but if you really want something to really sweep the board, Blade Gruts and Grimneck is a good start. Is a very good start.
Bread and butter combo right there.
Yeah, it is, and recommends anybody. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to just have these guys just throwing their weight around the field. So yeah, definitely.
The disengage helps a lot too.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
I mean,
it does.
I've seen it. I think disengage is one of those powers that you don't really think about until you need it. Because then when you're stuck and you're trying to move around, and all of a sudden, wait, I can just move. Wait, and yeah, all of a sudden, opportunity. It's just everywhere. You're like, oh, I can do all this sorts of. I can just move them around. I don't have to worry about them getting locked in place. You can lock people in place and then move around them and keep them stuck. It's lots of really interesting ways you can play with disengage, and it's to have an entire common army with disengage. Kind of scary thought, I'd imagine.
Every time I play against them, I always forget that they have disengage. Because I'm like, dude,
jumping away.
I'd be like, all right, I got this guy locked in place. I'm ready to go. And then he takes their turn, and I went, oh. I guess that's not going to work.
You always got to remember these things. Yep.
When you play them, do you like to use Tornak or Grimneck more? What's your prefer, or both if you have enough point? Like, what's the... I know Tornak technically works better with him because he can keep up, but I mean Grimneck's is 20 point more, and he's cool.
The Chomp is just really Chomp has done some crazy stuff in games. So
absolute lawnmower.
Yeah, it's what I think people would take Tornak more if he wasn't 3 life.
Yeah, that's
it's too brittle, and if he was like more like an uncommon, and you could take 2 Tornaks, that'd be different.
Right.
But it's just 3 life is just too weak.
3 life is really tough.
Grimneck is so easy.
Yeah, 3 life goes really fast.
So, yeah. And most people like that chomp ability. It's just like that's again.
Chomp,
like I said, bread and butter.
Really effective.
Yeah, it really is. Let's do character bio on these guys real quick. Just read this, and then we'll ask our resident lore master if there's anything else to add on to it. It says ferocious in battle. The Blade Grit warriors are the backbone of the orc army. As a wild, unintelligent species, they are difficult to control, but they are highly effective when trained to follow their assigned leaders, and they take their orders without question or hesitation. On the battlefield, their leaders always attack first, and the Blade Gruts fiercely follow their example. If separated from their leaders, Blade Gruts become confused, and they often lose a good deal of their savagery. All right, anything else to add to that?
So I will say the orcs, in terms of like lore, is considered one of the faces of Heroscape, right? Because they're in a lot of the packaging. They were brought up and they got animated, so they were in the webisodes, they were in the comic, right? So we got to see the references to the orcs pretty frequently, that's why I was always kind of sad that there was such a small amount of them in the game itself, because they were part of the brand's identity, like wholesale. Like you would see an orc on pretty much everything, but then there was like 3 different army choices. It's like come on, you could have made some more. But I mean they were working on it. I imagine they were working on it because we did have the openings were there for the opportunity. But there's a previous journal entry that we did get to read a while back. This is going to be probably episodes ago, because it was journal entry 6. Yeah, journal entry 6, number 6 is another kind of like an additional information we got about the Blade Gruts, and nothing really special, but one of the things that really stood out to me from that journal entry about the orcs is that there are rumors of thousands of these creatures gathering just outside of Nostralund. So in the very, very early part of this game, in the very early part of Rise of Valkyrie, the entirety of the region that Jandar is in charge of is surrounded by orcs, thousands of them. And I'm like, that's alarming. Like, Utgard didn't just summon a few heroes here and there. I mean, he was pulling an entire population's worth of people into Valhalla to fight for him, and that's just really crazy to think about. That like even in the early days, they had way too many of something that wasn't from that world just piling into, and occupying really important parts of that city. So yeah, and yeah, that's the most part. I mean, I think it's definitely one of the, not only brand identity, but because they have them riding dinosaurs. Obviously, I enjoy that a lot, and I want them to expand on that. Like, I do hope Renegade gets a little creative. They don't have to stick to Earth dinosaurs. Here's the cool thing. This is what I tell everybody when it comes to dinosaurs, right? Everything we know about them is imagined. We have no idea what they actually look like because all we have is portions of fossils, right? So you can literally make anything a dinosaur as long as it fits certain bone structures. Go wild. Make some dinosaurs, make some you don't even think would be a thing, and then put the orc on top of it. Boom, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
You have a giant turtle, and then, or something like that. Like we can just go make megafauna out of something that didn't have megafauna before.
Oh yeah.
There's so many ways they could expand on this that I'm super excited to see. And then of course the war mammoth, which we got hinted at from Age of Annihilation. So
and many options. Justin saying, I want to see Gruts on a Triceratops. We need an orc cavalry.
Siege engines.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Let's go.
Yeah, Grid is so underdeveloped in terms of all the other worlds. You just know it has orcs and some dinosaurs. I would love to see maybe some opposing factions from Grut, or some different variations of orcs, even make it I don't know. There's so much in that world that you could kind of, that primeval combat society. Let's bring more Grut stuff.
I remember in the early days of VC, because this is why when I was still part of it, I was able to work with it. In the early days, they picked up on that. They're like, Grut's a planet. Planets are big, and we have such a little representation from this big planet. So that's when they introduced the Varkanans. If you know the Varkanan faction from VC, the Wolven individuals, those are all from Grut. And they decided that I remember them deciding that really early. I think it was about 2011, 2012 timeframe, right while I was still part of it, where they talked about that. So, yeah, the opportunity is there. There's so little that you can get so much to put stuff in there. And, heck, even if you don't even put orcs, put some dinosaurs that operate on their own. I would love to see that. Little dinosaur Beastmaster training thingies where they fight for themselves or something. That'd be awesome. So. Mainly because I like dinosaurs. I am a little biased. So yeah, let's go dinosaurs.
Yeah. No, and this is one thing that really wakes me up too. Like I said, we started with kind of in the doldrums tonight, but I mean, just looking at this squad and just seeing the fun that can be had with these minis and what's possible.
The champion bonding.
Yeah, for them. And I mean, one thing Justin is asking too when it comes to the gameplay itself is, what situations would you use the heavy Gruts instead of the blades if you have both?
Right. Heavies, I will say, much more tournament compatible. Right. Because I've watched people play heavies in tournaments and hold their own for really. It's just a matter of the defense. The defense difference plays so much, because a heavy can take a hit where a blade could not. Essentially, and if you're talking about stability, staying around longer, trying to last longer in turns and rounds, so you can play your things out right, heavies all the way. If you definitely are trying to maintain that position, because blades are great for the numbers. They're cheap, and then you can get a ton of them, but they can't survive very long. 2 defense is very bad.
Right.
They are more mobile,
which is nice. Yeah. I suppose
exactly. They are faster.
It depends on what type of tournament play that you're playing, really. And if the points really matter, maybe a few Gruts, and then if you need to match whatever the point total is, balance it out, then maybe add a Blade Grut or 2 along with it. And there you go. And have them maybe hold them back, bring in the heavy Gruts first, and then have Blade Gruts come in to mop things up later, possibly. Could be a possibility. But that's a great thing about the options, and I can't wait till we get into heavy Gruts sometime in the future as well, and talk about them. because it's basically almost going to be the same type of discussion with these guys. But these were definitely, like we were saying earlier, that I mean these were the first, and 4-man squad, right there, and beautiful design, just very optimistic, very empowering type of squad with some good abilities. Yeah, attack and defense. I mean, well, at least it's not 0, and they can move really good. But yeah, I think they're just fun to play, and definitely a good value for the points that they have.
If you like to play aggressively, if you like to get up in people's faces and just want to, swarm the enemy, choose these guys. If you're a little bit more methodical into your positioning and want to kind of just maintain control, do the heavies is usually what I recommend.
Good point.
It's kind of all play style dependent.
Good point. Yeah, and for like I said, and of course we usually do these videos for anybody who's not familiar with Heroscape and wants to get to know, what would be good to start building their armies, building their collection. And I would say Blade Gruts are almost a definite must to not just have as a good dependable army along with Grimneck. It also helps you play the game and learn how to play the game and play it well, and helps you learn bonding and other things. So yeah, I would say, if you like orcs, if you like that type of part of the fantasy genre, yeah, definitely 100% recommend to have these guys in your collection for certain. And anything else we want to talk about before we move on? I think that covers it, right? I think so. So, yeah, Blade Gruts, gotta have. They're great, and look forward
classic.
They're classic. There you go. They are classical. Absolutely. So yeah, that is looking at the Blade Gruts, and can't wait till we review another squad or hero in the future.